the Caveman!
In the previous episode, I wanted to ask you what was your personal best for your two lifts, snatch and clean and jerk, right? So what your two all-time PB?
The last recorded one was I did a 67 kg snatch in training, and then I have a 80 kg clean and jerk in like competition setting.
I assume they go by body weight also, right? What's the body weight classes for weightlifting?
For females, these are the ones that I know of or like pay more attention to. There's U55, U59, U64, and then U71.
Oh, numbers so weird, it's like powerlifting. Why can't you just pick a nice number? Why can't it just be 80 or 90?
Or like the tens.
Because then it's gonna be too wide. The weight class, they're gonna have too many people.
No, wait, what
and
was
then,
it just now?
where
Again,
do you fall within?
71 and then
There's-
55.
No, 55, 59,
Oh, there's a 59.
55, 59, 64, then 71. Yeah, see? So it's not that bad. There's like quite like 5,
Okay, then what do you
6,
compete?
64.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So my numbers in comparison to other people in U64 is not that much. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Olympic weightlifting, because it's very technical. It takes very long to learn for most people. How long did it take for you to learn? Like properly?
I think this one has to do with your background, right? So people who typically have done sports before when they were younger, they will be able to pick things up a lot faster. Or even if like you were a dancer.
Actually, yeah, I agree. Because I
Oh.
don't have any sport background. Then I find it super hard.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have your.
I think you pick up better because you have sport background.
Oh, because basically it's psychomotor. Psychomotor not as
Is it?
good.
It's a lot of hand-leg coordination and a lot of like mind connectivity to the rest of the body, you know, like you need to have enough reaction, you know, to things. So because weightlifting, like what you mentioned earlier, like in the first podcast, part one,
in the last week's episode.
Yeah, if there are a lot of different steps, right? So you're saying how there's like first pull, second pull, extension, whatever.
Yeah.
There's like so many different steps. You must be able not only be able to think of the steps that you need to do, right? But your body must actually react to it, you know. And if the weight is heavier, lighter, whatever, you need to be able to react to the different weight that you're carrying and apply it the appropriate amount of strength.
So for you, how long did it?
I mean, I already kind of touched it in like CrossFit already, right? But for me to like refine the movement and all that and then be able to compete, then yeah, it was like 9 months-ish.
Or 9 months for your
Yeah.
competition?
Yeah, I would say that maybe 3 months or 6 months after I started training with a proper weightlifting coach, I kind of more or less got it already. Yeah.
How often you have to practice like this every week? Like 2-3 times?
Oh, I train like 4 times a week. Yeah.
Just repeatedly just doing this over again.
Doing many different things in weightlifting. It's not just you're not just training. You're training to perform those 2 lifts at the best capacity that you can on the platform, right? But in order to do that, you have to do so many variations of that lift. Like start from the hip,
Right.
start from below the knee.
Right.
You do things like you do so many like front squats, back squats, clean pulls, snatch pulls, a lot of accessories, pull-ups. Yeah, so many different things that you're doing just to do those two lifts. So actually, in fact, 4 times a week, right? I actually feel like it's almost not enough to go and cram everything in. My 4 times a week, right? Every training I spend about 2.5 to almost 3 hours
Oh, that's so long.
of like non-stop training because my rest time is maybe like 2-3 minutes. I typically don't rest that long. So imagine that for like 2.5 to 3 hours.
Your volume must be super high.
Yeah. So I guess in that sense it helps to have an endurance background as well lah.
Just now when you say after 9 months you competed in your first weightlifting competition, right? Then after that I assume you competed more after that also, right?
Yeah, after that I did like a few like meets.
Are you looking to compete again?
Yes. It's a competition happening in November that I'm gonna go for.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you go now, right, do you still feel like anxious? Because the first time you didn't. The first time you were like, okay.
I was there for the experience.
Yeah.
But I was nervous lah. I was nervous that I'll look stupid lah, or I'll look like everyone here seems to be like they know what they're doing and they have good technique and stuff. Then here I am just doing this for 9 months. Like, will I look silly lah? That's what I was thinking. So I had a bit of nervousness when it comes to that. Now the nervousness is very different because there are actually certain numbers that I want to hit. So I'm not going in with such a free-spirited mindset anymore.
Right.
So now you're more stressed than your coach now.
Yes, I mean, yeah, sort of. But I was just talking to my coach about this the other day. I mean, now I'm training with a coach that is at the Singapore Weightlifting Federation. I think this coach has been super good in terms of like managing the mental game of the mental aspect of weightlifting. Because the mental game is another whole thing on its own compared to like just going up there and lifting, if you're competing. So we've been working to kind of like have a plan for that for November as well. Basically when I train and stuff like that, right, my mindset is like I'm just gonna do my best in training. Every single time I come in, I give my all to push and hit the numbers that he sets out for me in training. When it comes to the actual competition day, right, I'm just gonna let him worry about the numbers. Like, I know both of us, like, we both want that same goal, but I think it's a lot healthier and it's a lot easier as an athlete to leave that to the coach. You can only be concerned about your performance and how you feel that day, how mentally prepared you are that day, how rested you are that day. But everything else, I think, just let the coach be the one to choose your numbers, worry about whether you can podium, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Actually, because I don't have much competition experience, so every time I go for competition, right, I will get very stressed.
Stress, really?
I will be super stressed.
But strongman is so like unpredictable.
But the thing, my stress doesn't come from just myself. My stress comes from the people around me, because usually I perform better when I'm alone. I don't like people looking at me.
But I'm the same. Like, okay, so like you're talking about that, right? Like, some people and it's so funny because my coach was literally having this conversation with me today, like when I was training.
Right.
So he was asking me like, I noticed you tend to be at the platform that is like very far away from people. Yeah. Then he said like, is it just an introvert thing? Then I said, yeah. I mean, I would consider myself an introvert because I don't draw energy from like when I'm in big groups of people and stuff like that. Like, really exhausts me. Right. But I also just don't operate off the hype. When people like shout at you and scream at you, and then some people they get like super hyped up and then they're like, oh, let's go. I'm just
then
like,
they beat your back.
Then after that you're like, oh, a bit sore, then I have to go and lift. Or then they go and smell the smelling salts, right? Why do men do this to themselves? And it's usually guys. I mean, there are also women who do this. But I don't understand it, okay? Yeah, I mean, it's good that works for them lah. Because in competition, you will always have people shouting at you and stuff. For me, it's more of like, when all this is happening, right, I literally just block it all out. Like, I don't hear anything. When I step on the platform, I don't hear anything. I don't hear anyone. All I'm thinking about is whatever my coach told me to focus on, and then that's it. Or whatever I need to think about in my lift. Everything else is just like white noise. I just really zone in. So like, maybe you should, like in training and stuff, you are surrounded by people as well, right? Sometimes you have like with Dion and Gerald and stuff, they will like shout at you. Like, just take that as practice, of like how it's like a competition, and then learn how to like take that as like, yeah, okay, they're encouraging me, but I have a bunch of other things that I need to think about right now, and you just focus on that. Then you can celebrate with them afterwards. Like, after I finish the lift already, right, then straight away I turn to my coach and I'm always like, but in that moment itself, I don't hear anything,
Do you think weightlifting is practical or like healthy for a normal person in general, like average person?
I would say it depends, right? Because if you're just doing weightlifting like recreationally, I think weightlifting training can be beneficial because it requires you to like exercise your mind, because it's so technical.
Yes,
there's
correct.
that aspect
Yes,
of it.
yes.
Then
Correct.
there's the other aspect of like, it is a strength sport, right? So you are building strength. And for women, like, especially as you grow older and stuff, your bone density like decreases. So in order to prevent like certain diseases and all that, you actually need to strength train.
Right.
So there's that. And then there's also an element of like agility that you need to have in weightlifting. So in that sense, I would say that it's practical. The flip side of that is you might spend a lot of time doing it lah. So if you are somebody who works like a 9 to 5 but isn't really a 9 to 5, right? Like it's like a job that requires you to like OT a lot and stuff like that. Like then you might find weightlifting like being quite taxing because you need to put in quite a lot of hours in order to like actually get good at it. If you're just going into like a gym to like do a 1 hour class, then I guess it's not like as much of a commitment.
Actually,
So yeah, it really depends on like what you're looking for as an individual.
Right. Actually, right, I wanted to ask you this because a lot of girls, the reason why they don't like to strength train, right, is because they'll say, oh, I scared I become too big size or I grow muscle. What do you think of that?
I mean, yeah, I guess that's kind of what I was talking about a bit in like the first episode as well. Is like it wasn't really promoted to us when we were like younger, like as an option, like weightlifting or combat sports, you know, because it's like either something that's like very violent or masculine,
Right.
or because things that are like strength sport require strength, and then people always associate strength with like men. So then, therefore, it's not like something that's like being recommended to us,
Right.
you know. But I think like in terms of like health and perspective on like nutrition and all these other things, right? This information is much more accessible nowadays. Like you can easily just Google it and all this information will be there for you. So I hope that perspectives are slowly being changed in that aspect, whereby people will, I mean, especially women will realize that like strength sports are like really good for you, and you should not just be doing like
Cardio.
yeah, I mean cardio is great for you. Cardio is good for your cardiovascular
Pilates.
health, and Pilates is tough. Pilates
Okay, yes.
is tough,
I admit it's tough.
and it's really
Why?
good for
It's
muscle
tough.
building too.
It's tough because I can't split.
Pilates is great. Actually, I feel like I would incorporate Pilates or like bar into my workout if I had time, but 4 times a week is all I have. Yeah, I mean nothing against all these other forms of exercise and stuff. I think if you're doing anything, that's already a great step to take, you know.
Right.
But I hope that people open up their mind more to like being able to accept like strength sports also. Yeah, just go and try. It's not as scary as people think.
Find
it
something you
is.
like lah, I guess. Strength can be a lot of things, right? Doesn't have to be lifting barbell. What?
Yeah, or don't even need to find something you like. Just try something new. You know, because you don't know until you try, right?
Yeah. Correct.
And find somebody good to coach you. You know, like I think the coach matters a lot. Like whoever you're training under will really shape your experience. You know, if you go to somebody who is very inexperienced or somebody who, you know, is maybe like just figuring it out themselves, then they won't be able to assist you very much or give you that confidence to pursue the sport.
Correct.
So find someone who is experienced, who is patient, who is empathetic, you know, able to understand where you're coming from and meet you at where you're at as well. And yeah, maybe you'll like it. I don't know.
Actually, we wanted to ask you a question. Every guest we always ask this question. Is, you know, actually there's a lot of strength sports. Like we say just now, right? What do you think in your opinion, which sport produces the strongest athletes?
Well, it's very hard to answer this question, right? Because if you're measuring strength based on your base lifts, right, your standard lifts like your squat, bench, deadlift, right, then of course the power lifters are going to be the strongest lah. Because this is all they train.
Yes,
you know?
correct.
And it's also necessary in all our sports, right? Whether you do strongman or you do weightlifting, you need your SBD strength.
Correct.
I mean, bench not so much for weightlifters. But yeah, so if you're measuring it that way, then powerlifters. If you are measuring it in terms of like variety, then probably strongman, because they have variety in lifts, like variety in motion as well. Like their movement is not so it's not very fixed or defined, right? You do a lot of things whereby require a lot of hyperextension of the back and all that. You still are able to exert strength in those positions. So then I guess strongman has like strength in like many different aspects, right? But I think weightlifting has the greatest like strength efficiency. What I mean by that, right, is despite not being able to like squat crazy numbers, we are able to pull things twice our body weight over our head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I
So
understand what you're coming.
so it really, I mean, if you compare like body weight and the weights that we are like moving overhead and all these like very technical and dynamic movements, then strength efficiency, I'm biased lah. I would say weightlifters.
I would say weightlifters also actually. efficiency 嘛。
Why? So I was thinking of one sport. What about gymnasts?
Gymnast.
Yeah, you see all the crazy things that they are doing.
But
Like-
would you say gymnastics is like a strength sport?
Actually,
Okay,
right,
so
If you're saying strength sports, right?
yeah.
Then those are the top 3 that I like think of.
Okay,
Oh.
so because Dion said
football.
football,
Yeah.
American football episodes.
Like based on variety, because
Yeah.
they can really squat a lot, bench a lot, and they can sprint really fast. So it means that their cardio and like explosiveness, they're all
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
But I would like to see again pound for pound, because I know that rugby players and all that, right? They do practice like cleans and stuff like that, not drugs but cleans and stuff in order to enhance their performance at rugby or football, whatever it is. I would like to see pound for pound how that measures up to weightlifting, because there's no way that they're out cleaning people that same body size or same body weight.
Yeah lah,
Yeah.
of course lah.
Okay.
It's like I think what he means like you won't be the best at everything, but at least you won't lose out that much.
Yeah. So basically,
The
high for
rugby
everything.
player.
High overall.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
definitely not strong lah.
Yeah.
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 So
Okay.
it depends on how you define strong lah.
Yeah lah.
Yeah.
Okay, but the gymnast one actually I think
Should be rated
consider
quite
it-
high, right?
Yeah.
Cause
It's like
very-
CrossFit lah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Right, like CrossFit lah.
I think gymnasts are definitely strong. I don't know whether I would say that they are the strongest. Yeah.
Okay. To end it off, if there is somebody who's interested in joining on weightlifting,
And
or maybe
someone new.
someone
Yeah.
new, right? How would you advise them to start?
Mm.
Second question is, if there is average like girl out there that wants to start training strength, how would you advise them to start?
My advice to both categories of people is more or less the same lah. I
okay.
would say that just keep an open mind. Think of it as like learning a new skill set, having a new experience, rather than like I am trying to like lose weight, or I'm trying to hit any other particular goal. Just it's like see it more of like, you know, if you're somebody who has never been interested in doing arts, right, and you go and take a painting class, you know, something like that, you know, it's something that's very out of your comfort zone, or something that you never experienced before, and you just go in with open mind and you don't think too much or worry too much about how you're going to perform. You know, you don't think about the painting you're going to paint, you just go there and you attend the class.
Correct.
And then you listen to the instructor and you just take it step by step, right? So it's the same thing. So find a gym that has like a good qualified coach, like what we were talking about earlier on. Attend the class, keep an open mind, and see whether you like it or not. If you like it, keep doing it. If you don't, then try something else. Yeah.
Okay.